Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, make sure to make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button so you're not missing any of these reactions, any of my vlogs about my mental health journey, or any of my celebrity interviews about their mental health journeys. Today's reaction is a request from two of my Patreons, so I am guessing it is double awesome. Aaron Didlow and Sanguine, I think I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for your continued love and support with my mental health outreach. If you haven't had a chance to check out my Patreon yet, I will link that in the description below so you can see what I'm up to with that mental health outreach. You can get priority song requests, jump on live streams with me. I'm now doing 2 a month, get personalized pictures, and so much more. So make sure to check that out. Every single dime goes toward my mental health outreach. Today I am reacting to Amigo, the Devil, Another Man's Grave. So, like I said, don't know the genre, don't know anything about it, but I love that I get variety. I don't discriminate about genre, so I get a lot of variety here. And I love that people suggest different songs. I have country songs on my list, I have rock songs, metal songs, screamo songs. I have a list a mile long, and then of course, like I said, my Patreons get priority, but I am excited to just dive into all of these different genres, different surprises. It's like every day is like Christmas because I never know what to expect. So before I babble on too much, let's dive in to Another Man's Grave by Amigo the Devil.
It's 1:45 and the bars are all closing. Nobody looks how they think. The guy in the corner with spit in his beard, wearing more than he drank of his drink. The dancers were shaking like ants, desperate to find a last-minute queen, while the rest of us are all headed home to try finding comfort in dreams.
Ooh, I remember a time when I was at that kind of rock bottom depression and all I wanted to do was sleep because it was an escape from the pain and the trauma and everything that I was feeling during my waking life. It was an escape from that, so that made a lot of sense to me, and it helped until I started having nightmares on top of it. Then I couldn't even get an escape from reality because now I'm having all these terrible things happening in the sleeping world too, and that started to become very heavy, and that's actually one of the times where I started to become more and more suicidal because I'm going, okay, I can't be awake, but I can't be asleep, but I definitely get the trying to find comfort in dreams. I like the analogy about the dancers are shaking like ants, desperate to find a queen, because I think that a lot of people do need some kind of either validation. They're looking for someone that's engaging in the same destructive behavior they are to validate that they're not alone, or they're looking for someone to guide them out of that. So I think that can go either way, but I really like that visual and that analogy.
'Cause this isn't life. I know that I chose it, but I can't stand waking up and nobody knows it. I'll never find the strength to change what I need. Is this who I'll always be?
It doesn't have to be. Oh God, that hit so hard because I know what it's like to feel like you're just stuck and there's no way out, and you're trying to find strength, but you can't get there, and you can't find a reason, and you just are convinced that this is all I'm ever going to be. This is the best there is. This is the best I can hope for. I remember that's why I ended up on that ledge in Canada, was because I just felt like there's nothing else here for me. There's nothing beyond this pain and suffering, and I'm so glad I found another side to that. I'm so grateful I found another side to that, but I can empathize so much that it feels like there's no hope, there's no future, there's no other side to the darkness, and that can feel very, very overwhelming, and it angers me so much when people will say, well, you chose this, you made your bed, you lied in it, you tried the drugs, you tried the alcohol, you continue to perpetuate this behavior. And while there is empowerment in recognizing that you do have choices, and you do have the power to break certain cycles, it angers me so much when people insinuate, well, you chose this. Yeah, well, once you're in it, it's very hard to get out. So yes, this might be a culmination of my choices, but it's very hard to get out of once you're there. So that always really, really frustrated me. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone in saying that that's just one of the most frustrating things that you can hear. But no, it's not who you will always be. I like how simple this is, though. It's such a simple song. This is the acoustic version, so I'm guessing that there's another version, but I kind of like the simpleness of the acoustic today.
I open my eyes and the room is still spinning. I joke about buying a vowel. The funniest part of this feeling is knowing the answer, but nothing comes out. So I'm shaking around like I'm hanging from something I know is about to break. Like I'm biting the gun, but the safety is on. I threw up the pills I ate.
That's a lot of reference, obviously, to suicide attempts. That just kind of gives me shivers to think about. I really like the buying a vowel reference because you see the puzzle, you can see the answer, but it's not always easy to go from point A to point B, right? It's not always an easy thing to say, okay, I know what the problem is, I just don't quite know how to work through the solution, right? So it can seem like it's right there. It can seem like it's very simple to solve. It can seem like, oh, well, I just need to buy a vowel. I just kind of need that little hint there. But it's not always easy. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult. But sometimes you know the answer. You know what you're doing to perpetuate the cycle. But you just have to figure out the process. It's like high school math, you know? You might know that there's so many times where I knew the answer, but I didn't know how to work out the problem. So I would fail the test because I couldn't show my work. And I guess, in a way, this is kind of like showing your work in real life. You have to be able to know how to get to that point because you can't just always write down the answer. It's kind of like how people say, I want to be happy. Okay, well, what does that actually look like? When you say, I want to improve, I want to get through this mental health crisis, you have to know what that looks like. So that's really important. But geez, like the references, like I'm biting the gun, but the safety's on. Like he's right there. The breaking rope, like right there. Throwing the pills, right there. But something's keeping him here. Something is pushing him to hold on, just like that song that brought me off the ledge.
The notes are all scribbled in pencil without really knowing what I'm trying to write. Something like, goddamn the man who said everything's gonna be fine.
Oh! Sorry. I have jammed a lot of people in my head for saying either everything's going to be all right, or you just need to calm down, or you just need to get over it. Why, thank you for that A+ advice there. I will rage sometimes when people tell me, you know, everything's going to be fine, or you just need to calm down. There are certain people that can look me in the eye and say, Amanda, everything's going to be fine, and I believe them, and I trust them, and I know that they love me, and they have my best intentions. But if some stranger just says, everything's going to be fine, or someone that you know doesn't understand your struggles, saying, everything's going to be fine, or you just need to get over it, those are some fighting words, people. Those are fighting words in my world. The notes scribbled in pencil just, to me, signifies impermanence. So it's not that that's what he's wanting to do. And he's hoping for something that will make this less permanent. That was my take on that. But sorry, I had to pause again right there. But
life is a lot like a sewer. We get out of it what we put in. That's when doubt kicks in.
Oh God.
Maybe I just don't have it inside me. Maybe there's too much I couldn't face. I just wanted someone to come down from heaven and explain this cold and fucked up place.
That reminds me, I'm probably aging myself here, but I grew up watching Touched by an Angel, and even though I'm not a person of faith now, I will still go back, especially around the holidays, and watch that show. And I remember being in my depression and thinking, where's my Monica? Because Monica was one of the main angels, and she would guide people and stuff, and at the right time, at the turning point of the show, at the peak of the show, she would reveal her divinity, and she'd glow, and she'd tell the person that she was there. That's what this made me think of, was when I was in that mindset of where's my Monica? Where's somebody to explain to me why I have to put up with all of this cold and fucked up stuff, as he said, just to be able to wake up another day and do it again. I wonder how many people have sought a Monica, have sought that comfort or that explanation. And I know bad things happen to people. Don't get me wrong. I understand that there has to be yin and yang, but it feels like for some of us, especially those of us that struggle with mental health conditions, anxiety, depression, whatever the case may be, it really seems like we get a little bit more sometimes, because you're not only dealing with your life circumstances, but you're constantly fighting against your own mind to do so. So you constantly have this battle in your head, and you're always fighting that, and that exhausts you. So it just feels like there's so much more. And then, unfortunately, because a lot of the times we will make bad decisions based on impulse, based on trying to get out of the feeling that we're in, and that's where the addictions and stuff come from. Like, we just end up further and further down, and it just ends up becoming more fucked up, and we isolate, so it ends up being more cold and lonely. But the life's like a sewer. That was gold. That was so gold. It's true, though. We get out of life what we put in it. And if we're spending our time with addictions and eating crap food and this terrible lifestyle with this terrible mindset where we just watch the news all the time and we're comparing ourselves to everyone all the time, of course we're going to have worsened mental health. That's the life is a sewer. That you're just putting in all this crap. What do you expect to get out? So that was, I'm going to use that. I'm going to steal that line. That needs to be on a t-shirt somewhere.
But I'll just keep trying to hide it until there's nothing left to save. In the end, I know I'm gonna die, buried in another man's grave.
Am I the only one that just loved his smile at the end? It was very mysterious, because you don't know if he's coming to this point of acceptance or if he's realizing what he needs to do. But you don't have to accept it. But now I get the meaning of another man's grave, that he's felt like he's had to be someone else, like he's had to live in someone else's life and live someone else's lies in order to get to where he's at. So instead of being able to be authentic and true to himself, now he's had to live with addiction, live with these thoughts, live with all of these things that, sure, at some point he made the choices that perpetuated that or brought it about, but at the same time he still had to live with that. And it doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't feel real, it doesn't feel like you ever really get to know yourself when you're in that state. I feel like I didn't really start to get to know myself until I found the other side of the depression, until I started taking better care of myself and taking my power back. I always felt like I was kind of stuck in someone else's hell, nightmare, soap opera, I don't know, but it really felt like I wasn't able to be me, and I wasn't able to connect with myself. So that's so sad that he feels like it's going to destroy him, it's going to cost him his life, but he never even got to live it. He never even got to be himself, so that's tragic. But yeah, his eyes just have so much energy, and I really loved that. And again, I loved how simple this was. It wasn't anything too extravagant. The video was simple, the melody was simple, but the lyrics were really powerful and had a lot of insights, a lot of things that made me go, wow, life's like a sewer, obviously, is my big takeaway. Gonna go have that printed on a mug or a shirt or something, but we have to connect with what makes us us and what feels good. It doesn't matter what that is. It doesn't matter if it's accepted by, you know, all of your friends and stuff. What makes you genuinely happy? And there are things that people don't accept, like addiction and whatnot, because those aren't going to make you happy. They'll numb you out. They'll keep you from being depressed sometimes, but that's not the equivalent of happy. Not depressed is not happy. Numb is not happy, because numb, you can't choose what you numb yourself out to. If you're going to numb yourself out with drugs and alcohol and whatnot, you're numbing out the good too. And I am a really big proponent of building the happiness bank and building up our experiences, our good experiences, to counter the negative ones. But that's a very conscious effort, and it's a skill that I had to learn and acquire. But thank you guys so much for recommending this to me. It was very mellow, very big change from my last reaction that was very full of energy and very aggressive. This one was the exact opposite. So like I said, it's nice to just shift back and forth and try out different things and see where this boat takes me. It's amazing. Thank you. And like I said, thank you so much for your support. As always, guys, make sure to leave your story here in the comments, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it feels crazy. Talking about mental health is how we shatter the stigma. That's how we come together. I want you to know that you have this community where you can feel safe, you can feel not judged, you can feel loved here. And I read every single comment, and I just want you to know that I see you, I care about you, I care if your light goes out. So leave your story in the comments. Make sure that you like, share, because you never know who needs to hear these messages. And again, make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button. I love you guys so much. Mwah!